On election night, I didn't know what was going on in the country.
What started off as unlikely is now reality.
And the wall comes tumbling down.
I thought I had been paying attention to the news, but actually I was quite ignorant.
Donald Trump will be the 45th president of the United States.
It's really emotional, just a lot of feelings of shock and disbelief, and I felt like I had to do something with all of this energy and emotion, and I wanted it to be something productive. It just made me realize we need to hear from each other, because clearly we haven't been doing that.
But I don't know any Trump supporters. I don't know anyone who voted for Trump.
I didn't know any Trump voters personally, and then the dinner idea came. I just emailed Tria.
I want to host a dinner, ...
where we bring Trump and non-Trump voters together
and see if we can come up with something real and delightful.
And that's where it all came from.
This is the story of Justine and Tria, two Bay Area friends who, like many Americans, were pretty shocked after President Trump's victory. And they have a theory.
It's so easy in today's society to lash out online, but when you're looking at someone face to face, you can't help but see their humanity. You can't help but connect with them.
Tria and I really love the idea of food bringing people together, to be present with one another.
So after the election, they started working on this idea. They wanted to find 8 people with very different perspectives, have them sit down, eat dinner, and wrestle with some of the most contentious issues facing our country.
The point is not even to like the other person. The point is to expose ourselves to things that we may not be comfortable with.
So when this first started, they were excited, but they didn't know any Trump voters.
Of course I want to talk to them, but I don't know how to find them.
So they reached out to some Republican groups, they posted on Facebook, and after a while, they found some. At their very first dinner, they made an unexpected friend.
One particular guest stood out to us. He offered to host our next dinner.
That part of it is nice, isn't it? I'm Walt Shefflow. I'm a lawyer in San Mateo, and I voted for Donald Trump.
I have to admit I didn't have very warm feelings when I thought about Trump voters, but from the very first emails with Walt and just kind of hearing his reaction to the dinner, I was kind of flooded with this warmth for him.
We felt like a little bit of a kinship with him because we really felt like he was like on board.
Well, I want to hear what motivates other people and see what I can learn from it, and maybe I'll have something that somebody else wants to hear.
So Walt is a return guest from our first dinner and tonight's host, so thank you, Walt, for hosting.
After a quick icebreaker, the discussion gets going.
As a transgender Korean adopted man, human rights, I think, should be top of what we're talking about.
I think we can all agree just the partisanship right now, nobody likes that because everyone's just choosing their tribal side.
Seeing 2,000-page bills passed that nobody has read, that shouldn't be happening.
There is a desire for hearing people dialogue and talk and not just yell at each other.
I think it's a really good point.
One of the most vocal participants was Walt.
So do you think that things have gotten better for transgender people in the last 20 years? So is freedom the most important thing we have in America or not? Was a lot of the things that you said were true? I don't think are true at all. You read the articles by Heather McDonald. You know who that is?
No, I don't. Who's that?
If you haven't, you really haven't studied this issue at all.
Walt definitely pushed some buttons, and not just with the other guests.
Hearing Walt's perspective, I mean, it was very hard for me not to physically react.
I had to stop myself from being personally offended from some of the things that he said.
So in some ways, Walt seemed to fulfill the stereotypes Justine and Tria had in their minds about Trump voters. But now something was different. They actually knew him.
There are many of his opinions that I don't agree with, but I like him as a person. And for me, that's been a really healing and freeing feeling.
Tria and Justine weren't the only ones affected by these conversations. When Walt was asked, he said that the transgender participant Min had really changed his perspective.
Min is the one that changed mine the most. Hearing some of his ideas about how you approach the idea of feeling excluded, included, was different than anybody I'd heard before. He had a lot of interesting ideas of the way you look at it.
Yeah, or whatever.
Soccer style.
Whatever works. I think growth by definition is moving outwards. It's okay to make yourself uncomfortable. A big part of this for me has been personal growth, and that's what I hope for everyone who comes to the dinner as well. We're not going to heal the nation in one night. It's a dinner of 8 people. It's tiny, but it creates so many conversations that wouldn't be had otherwise.
I feel like Make America Dinner Again has offered a place for people to practice listening and understanding.
Justine and Tria have hosted 4 dinners since the election, and now they're seeing some momentum.
So we heard from people in Colorado, in Oregon, in DC, all across the country, and they said, we've downloaded your guide, we're ready to go, help us out.
You know, I learned so much from all of you.
I think we should have more of these conversations.
We are actually part of a much larger movement of other people who are creating ways for you to meet someone who's totally different, who grew up with a very different set of perspectives. And I think that all of us will only be better from that.